Thanks everybody for joining the webinar. What we really wanted to do today was show you kind of a high level overview of Tracker. We're not going to get really deep in the weeds, but we do want to show you the ethos behind what Tracker is and why we designed it the way we did, and really show you and demonstrate that it's really designed to help your projects run smoother, like we say. We want to show you the proactive nature of the software, how it can be used to drive the projects proactively as opposed to waiting and having static data in the system, from the reporting to the modules that are in there to even the ease of use of the software. That's the idea behind this webinar. So keep that in mind as you're watching this, and really we hope that's what comes out of this, and we hope you get some real value out of this. So I'm going to turn it over to Andrew, Rachel, and Clint Scott. They're going to pitch and catch a little bit here on the demo and show you some of the high level features of the software.
Thank you, Ricky. Appreciate that. Upon logging into TrackerCheck, the first thing you're going to see is the dashboard. The dashboard is basically the 5,000-foot view of the status of your project. It gives you your ITRs broken down by subsystems, what's remaining, what's completed, and then the amount. It'll give you your overview of your punch categories, what's open, what's been closed, the type of punch you have based on the priorities. And of course, these are all customizable based on what your project needs are. ITR types, what has been open, what is still remaining. It also gives you a certification status, so you can see where you're at on your MCCs, your systems acceptance test, how many are open, how many have been completed. And then over here on the right-hand side, it just gives you the raw numbers of where these graphs are depicting over here, and the percent complete of each one. After you move out of the dashboard, the modules within TrackerCheck and the navigation through TrackerCheck is over here on your left-hand side. We'll have the activities module, and Drew will go into this a little bit more in depth, but this is where you line out to the activities for your project. You sort out the importance of them. Once you input the activity into this, you can put the plan start, plan completion, actual start, actual completion, and this is reflective on the Gantt chart. Again, Drew will go into more detail about the activities. Systems and tags. You'll have your systems, you'll line out your systems, your subsystems, and your components. Within your components, this is a very robust piece of information here. With your tags and your components, you can put in associated with the work packs, the location that piece of equipment or tag is located at. If it's a regulatory item, you can put the vendor documentation in it, the make and model number, so you don't have to search over different books or web pages during your project. It's a one-stop shop basically inside TrackerCheck. Drawings is the repository for all your project drawings. You can create your drawing list here, again, so you don't have to go all over the place within 3-ring binders or what have you, different databases to find out your project drawings. Your punch list module, I'll go into a little bit more in depth. This is where a crew member could add a punch list. We can submit a punch directly into TrackerCheck here on the desktop, or we can submit punches mobilely as well. Once they are submitted mobilely or out in the field on an iPad or a tablet, it comes in as a smart punch review. This is a repository for everything coming in off of a tablet, and this gives your CMS admin or your punch admin time to look over and vet the punch items that have been coming in. This will keep you from adding duplicates or required, if there's more information that is required in order to put that punch on a master punch list. This is where the vetting process occurs. So you don't just get 1,000 punch items that are duplicates or just doesn't have enough information on your punch list. Upon reviewing the punch items, the punch list coordinator can go ahead and add to the master punch list if everything meets the satisfactory requirements for the master punch list. Up here on the master punch list is all the punch items that have went through the vetting process through the CMS coordinator or the punch list coordinator on your project. And this keeps track of The punch items, again, if it's been raised by, completed by, closed out by, and accepted by. This, this is all fully reportable as well in the report section that Drew will get into a little bit later. The preservation module, this is a module that is the preservation and maintenance module of your TrackerCheck. So if you have equipment that has not been set yet, it's going to take a little bit longer for it to be started up and commissioned. You can keep track of the maintenance and the preservation requirements within TrackerCheck as well. The ITRs is the repository and the templates of all the ITRs. Again, we said that there's over 500 standard ITRs. Tag ITRs, this is the ITRs that are associated with your tags. This is the check sheets. In this is where you generate your ITRs. You can send them to a PDF. If you still want to do hard copy and paper copies, you can send it to a mobile device. And upon sending it to a mobile device, it'll jump down into the bucket of the smart tag ITRs. This is where you can, the CMS coordinator can look at what's been generated, what's been sent to mobile, and we can assign a responsibility for that mobile ITR. So it can go to a group of people. It can go to your instrument techs, your mechanical guys, if it's just mechanical ITRs, or you can specify a certain person. Let's say you have a millwright out there that all he needs to see is the millwright ITRs. You can assign that responsibility to him, and that's the only ITRs that person will see while they're out in the field on their tablet. The test equipment, this is the repository for all your test equipment. So if you want to have, if you have a calibrate, you know, you need equipment that needs to be calibrated on a certain amount of time, or you need to keep track of the calibration, we can add the test equipment into this. You can put attachments to it, vendor documentation, users manuals, and this will keep track of that equipment, and you can check that equipment out in the test equipment tab. So it also keeps track of that equipment as it's out in the field or as it's being issued to complete those ITRs. The material management and the MOC, well, let's go to the MOC. The MOC, this keeps track of all your management of change. You can use this for RFIs, just another tool to help you drive your project so you don't have to use 2 or 3 spreadsheets or another database to keep track of all your MOCs or RFIs. Inside the material management, you can create a materials list, a commissioning spares list, whatever it is. You can release that material and you can to where it needs to go, and you can also keep track of those POs for that material. The certificates is if you have an activity that is gated, and Drew will go into the activities again in more detail. If you have an activity that you require to have all the A check sheets, B check sheets, and all the A punch list items completed, this is where you would set the gating for that and set your certificates templates, create those templates for your specific project. So if you did have a MCC certificate that need to be signed and it's tailor-made to your project, we can work with you on that to get you the certificate that you would like to have. Again, the reports tab, Drew will go into more in depth about all the reports. And then the admin tab is where you would you generate a QR code for your mobile users so they could log in using the QR code mobily. Any attachments, any imports that are associated with this project, it's a one-stop shop repository for all the attachments, all the imports. So anything that's been imported into your project is in this library here as well. And then at the end of your projects, everybody likes to have a project book with all the information that you've gathered during your project in TrackerCheck, your vendor documents, your test procedures, your pressure testing. After it's been scanned in and attached into your project, you can create a book for that project at the click of a button, whether it's a zip file, a PDF, or both. It gives you that option to choose how you want your book delivered to you. And then Drew is going to go deeper into the reporting of TrackerCheck. Again, this is a tool to help you drive your projects.
Appreciate that, Clint. I'll go ahead and take over the screen. All right, we'll start off in the report section, and then we're going to shift over, talk about activities, and then we'll go down and look at permission setting for the softwares, which controls what people can do in the software. All this shouldn't take more than 2 or 3 hours, but we'll try to get through it pretty quickly. So, and just kidding on that, we're just going to touch on a few of the reports, do some highlights in the activities. Activities is really robust. So you can do a lot with it, but we're just going to touch on kind of the basics and what you can get out of it and how it's going to help drive the project. And then we'll go back down to security settings. We'll talk about some of the reports. I cover this in another video also, but we'll pull open the Skyline. We also have a new Skyline that we've been working on, but we'll pull up this one. So the Skyline, it's a good visual report. It is based off of certificates. This particular one is, and you will start with the MCC. So if you think of certificates, they're more, they define phases of the project, really. You can do more with them, but if you take a generic concept of what a certificate is, it's a phase of the project. So we're looking at the mechanical completion cert. So we're looking at the installation ITRs, basically the construction's done and you're doing the installation checks on it. The boxes down here, since the MCC cert is subsystem based, we're looking at subsystems. Each box represents a subsystem. The color indicates the status of that subsystem based off of the ITRs. So anything green's been completed. Red is supposed to be done, but it is not, so it's late. And then you have orange, and those use cases where you've completed the subsystem, turned it over, but you still have open ITRs in there, which we know on projects that absolutely never happens, but we have a color for that, so that's orange. And then you have yellow. These are coming due in the next 2 weeks, and then white. That is out past 2 weeks, just future items. Down at the bottom, we're looking at a summary of these boxes above. So we're looking at one subsystem here, 2 here, 1 there. Then down below, you're getting a running total of everything. So the good thing about this report, again, it's just a good visual indicator. Knowing nothing about the project, I know it's running late. Started off good, but then now they're behind. You can also see here stacked up and then overflowing in the next column on 28 March. That's a lot of turnovers for subsystems. And unless you have a pretty healthy team, that's probably going to be a challenging week for you. And again, on 25 April. So this right here, if I were a turnover coordinator on this project, I'd be asking if we could levelize this a little bit, maybe push these to the next week, and we'll have a better shot. But these could also be very small workbacks and easy to turn over. But it's a question to ask just based off of what I'm seeing here. So let's back out of the Skyline, and we'll go look at the burn down curve. So burn down curve is another one of my favorites. You combine this with a couple of other reports, and those are the primary reports you'd usually use on a project, but we have a ton of other reports. All right, this particular Power BI chart is showing the subsystems and their ITRs based off of the schedule. So each one of these represents turnover dates, the reporting weeks, and then the ITRs during those reporting weeks. You combine all that together and you're going to get a planned curve. So how many ITRs do I need to complete each week per subsystem to be able to finish the project on time? And this is all being driven by the activities, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So again, these are ITR. So as long as we're below or at the blue line, our project's on track. And we can see here that we're not on track. The green lines representing the actuals. These ITRs haven't moved since the beginning of the project. And we saw that illustrated in the Skyline as well. So this right here, what I like about this chart is it gives you the angle of attack. How much work are we doing, and how aggressively are we doing the work? So I would be super nervous on this, but in the next couple of weeks, if I saw that green line dropping down somewhere close to the blue line here, I would know we're gaining ground and we're improving and doing what we need to do to catch up. So we're going to take a look at our reports page here. We'll get more in depth on some of the individual reports in another video. I'm just going to stay high level. Let's talk about the report type. So we have two types of report engines that come with the software. It's not extra, it comes with it. You'll see when you sign up for the software on the website, there's Advanced Power BI. That is for building out customized reports and whatnot and other aspects of it. But out of the box, without adding that extra BI, you still get Power BI reports. So just so you're aware of that. Now, there are two different types. We have Telerik, which is a report engine. If you're familiar with the older styles like Crystal reports, that type of thing, it's a real-time reporting engine. It's connected directly to the database. You run a report, it pops it up and delivers the data instantly. And I'll just pop one open real quick just so you can take a look at it. But the Telerik reports, again, live data. So as you go update something in the system, hit save, you can come back here, run the report, and it's instantly reflected. Each Telerik report comes with filters. You can export them to PDF and Excel. The other type is Power BI. So Power BI allows us to get really customized on the reports, do drill throughs. We use Power BI for more interrogating the data, whereas Telerik is just telling you where you're at in the project. How many ITRs have I done? Here's the report. How many subsystems are turned over? Here's the report. When you get into Power BI, you're more looking at the interaction of all these things. You're able to do customizable dashboards, which we've seen before. You can also, like I said, do drill throughs. You can give a high-level KPI, click on it, drill down, get some more information, drill down. So it allows you to get a lot more flexible and a lot more data integrating to pull things together and give you a synopsis of the project. So with all of these reports, there's some really good ones that help drive the project. The ones that are driving the project that tell you if you're on time or not, those are being fed from the activities. So let's move off of reports and go look at the activities. In the activities section, you've got three things here. You've got the activities page. That's where you're actually defining your activities. And then the Gantt chart, which is interacting with the activities to give you a Gantt chart view of those activities. And then the certificate details. So I'll pop open the activities page here. And before you get too overwhelmed with all the data on the screen, let's just talk about what an activity is. An activity can just be a task. We need to run the diesel. It's a milestone for this project. We need to capture when it's run. So that could be an activity. Walking down subsystems for a handover from construction to mechanical completion group, that can be an activity, those walk downs. It's things you need to do on the project that you want to achieve to show progress. Now, the activities page, using this activities column, was designed to interact with Primavera or Microsoft Project. Whatever your scheduling tool is, you can set up your schedule like you always do. We're not trying to replace Primavera, Microsoft Project, or any of your project scheduling tools. We're not trying to replace it. We're trying to enhance it. So the scheduler, you deliver your schedule. You can take that entire schedule and based off the activity, pull it into the system if that's what you need for the project, or you can just cherry pick the data off that's appropriate for commissioning or startup or the mechanical completions and just bring those items in. What that does for you is you're pulling in the scheduled dates now, start and stop dates. You also have the activity in our system, so if we're tying it to data, like the ITRs or associating with a cert, we can backfeed the scheduler when that's complete. So I've been on projects before where I had to interact with the scheduler prior to having this in Tracker, and my Friday was consumed going through row after row after row on a schedule that the scheduler defined, and then grabbing data out of our system, handwriting it, and then deliver it. And then the rest of his day was compiling all that data and running the reports. if you go to where this page came from, it came from that pain point on that project. So what we did was we now can export this, import it via spreadsheet, and interact. So nobody's writing on paper anymore. We're consuming the actual activity number, so there's a direct link. It can also take the place of a schedule. So if you're not running a project with P6 or project tools, you could still do that in our software. So, and we do that quite a bit throughout the software. Is we either enhance what you have, or we can be a stopgap and fill in that missing item that you may have. So at its core, activities are just things that need to be done on the project activities. On the activities page, you can establish parent-child relationships. You can add predecessor activities. A lot what you can do with Primavera as well. Again, we're not trying to replace Primavera. But here you can see a Gantt chart view of these items, and there's a relationship between those two systems or subsystems there, showing their start, stop date, picking up durations, progress, etc. You can do a lot more with activities. One of the items we do use it for is certificates. So if we bring in a certificate here, I turned on the certificate column so you can now see the certificates for this particular activity. This one has an SAC. This SAC, since it does have a certificate for this activity, we're showing not ready. Well, why is it not ready? You can turn on the ITR status, punch status, predecessor cert, and it tells you why you're not ready. You're not ready on your punch. So you have some punch holding these items up. So from this one page, based off of what you are doing on your project, how your schedule is set up, the gating for these certificates, it can tell you exactly what's holding up a turnover. So it's no longer having to go drill down and interrogate the data. It's doing it for you, and it's giving you a simple visual indication right there. You can also go to generate this, and it'll tell you, punch, it's not ready. So we try to make things as simple as possible. We try to simply integrate data from other softwares without having to do complicated integration. We can integrate with other softwares using APIs, but spreadsheet interactions are fine for most projects also. All right, so we'll step off of activities and we'll go talk about the security for a second. So under global activity, under security, you can talk about roles and permissions. Big picture, without going really deep in this, is when you log into the software, and you can see me logged in up here, the software sees which project you're logging into, grabs your security rights for that project. You can customize it per project too. So I could be a full-blown admin on one project, a read-only user on another project. What that does is give you really granular control over what people can do and see. So if you want the software to be exposed to the technicians and they can fill out the ITRs on the web page, but you don't want them getting overwhelmed by everything on the left side, you can actually set up a security group, and we'll help you do that. You can set up a security group where the techs only see 2 or 3 items off to the left side here. And then when they log in, they just see punch, they just see smart tag ITRs, just a couple of things they need to do, use and do in the software. That speeds up training. You're not having to train people on a lot of different things over here. You're not having to tell them to stay out of things. You just control it at the security level. I mentioned that we can help you do that. That would be our support team. Clint Scott heads our support team. He can help you. So when you sign up on the website and get an actual subscription, you'll be contacted by Clint Scott or one of the team. They'll reach out to you and ask you, hey, do you need help setting this up? Where are you at? What are you trying to achieve? Or if it sounds like you're good to go, we can back off and let you use the demo yourself for a while. But any of these nuance items, like setting up security, that's definitely a nuance item. We can do a screen share, Teams meeting, hop on with you, show you how to use it and train you up on it. But you do have complete granular control over the entire software. You don't want everybody in here being able to change everything. So you're going to have read-only users up to admin, then everywhere in between. So, all right. We covered reports, security, activities. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back over, but really appreciate everybody's time.
One of the defining features of TrackerCheck and what really speaks to the new cutting edge technology that we built is that every single data point in the system has an API endpoint. So depending on how technical and how granular you want to get, you can actually tie every single data point through an API to something else. So if you have another system or another software that you want to pull information into, you can use any one of our APIs, and we have them all set up where you can go in and see them. We're very open and open to connectivity and tying into other softwares. We're very much software agnostic. So in terms of APIs, that's one of the really defining features of our software as well. Thanks, Drew. I appreciate the overview there. As you can see, we get lumped into the CMS brand of software solutions, but really we're a lot more than a CMS. We're really operational readiness and technical integrity all wrapped into one project delivery tool. And that's really what we like to brand ourselves as, more of a project delivery tool as opposed to just a regular old CMS. And really we're getting back to the idea that it's a proactive tool, just like any other tool in your toolbox. This is supposed to help you drive your project forward and help be more of an ROI driver to the project so that you can complete your project safely and on time. So we'll get into more details and more granular information in future webinars, but really appreciate the time. And if you go to the website, you can sign up for a two-week free trial right out of the gate. You don't have to wait for a demonstration or a quote or anything like that. You can go in and put your information in, sign up, and then within 30 minutes, you'll be up and running. You can get your data in there and start trying it out. So do yourself a favor, sign up for the 2-week trial. I think you'll really appreciate when you do.